Gary Talks. Gary Talks. I've been thinking about a funny tendency I've noticed in myself. I recently joined this cute community of lovely women, which has been interesting because of my own identity as a non binary person and figuring out what womanhood means to me. So there's that piece. Um, and also just like feeling out connections, especially after coming out of a really intense three relationships, four. Like, I haven't had many romantic partners. I would say three major people come to mind, but they were really intense bonds and connections with people that developed very quickly. And I've been an oversharer, and someone who develops really intense connections and then really strong attachments to people very easily. So I've been just taking it slow, right? With meeting new people, feeling them out, filling out the space, filling out myself, and very much observing too how the person reacts to that, right? Because when I want to take it slow and someone's like, I'm like, I mean, I don't know what else you want me to do because I need to take it slow. It's not something I'm trying to do to you. It's not a test for you. It's not I'm trying to irk you or bother you or, test you if I didn't say that. Like, I'm just trying to feel it out and feel comfortable for myself. And if you have a problem with that, it's good to know. We probably won't jive, right? Or just a thing to notice. It's red flags. Um, so it's been really awesome being in this group and just taking it slow and observing and being respected and not being pressured to participate and not being called out, right? I've been called forward a couple of times, right? Like, I would love to hear from you. That's a lovely way versus, like, I've noticed, some people not really talking in the, right? I feel like a lot of the time when we feel a way, we have questions, we tend to come with our judgments and our assumptions about what is happening for that person when it could not be that case, right? I'm just filling it out. And I'm really happy that everyone has assumed positive intention because that is how I feel. Um, I've also noticed how often I put myself in a corner and then get really sad about not being chosen. Right? Like, not participating is great for me right now as a listener and I'm observing. And then also to be like, oh, these people are, like, everybody's getting love, but I'm not getting no love because I'm not putting anything in there too. I'm not risking the showing myself. I'm not putting myself out there to be praised or to be noticed or to be celebrated. Um, and that's something I've noticed that I have done in the past, at least. I'm shifting that right now. I'm like participating more in the group and just being honest about how I feel and sharing what I just shared with you all. Like, I'd be putting myself in that corner and then being like, damn, like, how come everybody get all the good things? How come people get, like, I could have done that. I could have said that. Like, and I've thought about why that is that I do that. And I remember in school, I was told that I raised my hand too much. I was one of those kids that would be like, oh, 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 right? Because I knew the answers. And it was very interesting, like, about a lot of my teachers were like, you got to give other people a chance to learn. You have to, like, cool out participation. And so I was often told that I participate too much. And, like, I've noticed that in spaces that feel familiar in terms of, I feel like like, everything is always a new situation because it's new people, right? But sometimes I feel like the subject matter that we've been speaking about or we are speaking about, I have handled before, I have dealt with before, I have come across before, and handled it in my way, in a way that I feel like makes sense for me, and I have a pretty good grip on that. I've noticed I tend to observe more and kind of create a space for people to just share. But then, like, what am I getting from that? Right? I'm learning the power of observation and active listening and empathy for sure. And also, I deserve to be heard and I deserve to share too. So, learning that balance and sharing has just been really powerful. I'm really excited about that, actually. Um, Facing a lot of fears in that, like, because I'm not really one to be nervous to raise my hand, but I don't want to speak for everybody. I feel like I've often felt and I've heard from other people like a slight flutter when you raise your hand to say something, especially something that is a risk, like it may or may not be right, because we always want to be right. Um, or we've been taught to want to be right. And also, like, our brain wants to be right. Like, that makes sense because that usually means you're going to survive if you're correct about a thing. um, yeah. So I just wanted to share that. This little shift that I'm going through, learning to embrace putting myself out there, even if it feels like what I have to say is insignificant. Or if what I have to say is unfavorable. Like, I don't really like that. So often I feel like I've been taught to be quiet about the things you don't like, right? If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. First of all, nice means ignorant, right? It comes from the nescio or nescire in Latin, which is to not know. So bump that, first of all. And also, like, it's not being not nice to say that you don't like a thing. Right? If something you did made me uncomfortable, that's going to be uncomfortable to hear, but it was also uncomfortable for me to feel. So I'm not going to put myself in the corner. I'm actually going to say that. Or, like, I'm not really feeling it. I feel like I've kind of slipped into a space where if I don't have something to say that contributes or adds to that person's energy, I've been kind of like not saying something. And also, people be saying things that I don't resonate with, right? And it's like, you don't need to shoot somebody down and be like, that was ridiculous or stupid or whatever judgment comes out. It can also be a question. So just figuring out the ways. I'm gonna go work on this workshop, which I'm having tonight or this afternoon at 3. But it was wonderful speaking to you all. Have a great day.